Hey, good Friday afternoon, everybody. Chief Meteorologist Brad Petovich here. We are joining you live here with our live weather impact here on a Friday evening. And it's been a long, cloudy 7 days. And I want to start with some good news because we finally are starting to see. I was going to show you. I just got logged out of my computer, but it probably didn't want to show you what's actually happening in parts of our area. We're actually seeing the sunshine in parts of the area. So let me go up and bring up our cameras for Jeb here so he doesn't freak out. I have the 7 day showing right now. But I want to show you our Monroe camera, our Mr. Sparky camera network down in Monroe. And you may have seen it in other parts of the area, but we actually have some sunshine. Now, it's not full sunshine. This is about as good as it gets here in the last 7 days. But we have seen breaks in the clouds, and at times, full sunshine has broken through some breaks in the clouds, and we've actually seen some pretty good looking conditions, especially north and east. And Tim's going to join us here momentarily. And Tim has seen a whole lot more sun than we have, so I'm kind of jealous. He's been mostly dry. I'm going to zoom in and show our camera because this is Bank of America Stadium. Looks a little hazy too, which we're going to talk about that as well. We might have a little bit of wildfire smoke from Canada. But you see the lights on there? Coming up here in 29 minutes, the Panthers are taking on the Cleveland Browns in what is a unusually hyped preseason game. I think Panthers, here's the weird thing, just full disclosure, I am both a Browns and Panthers fan. So I have a unique perspective on this because I listen to sports radio in both markets. And kind of a cool thing, last night I was coming back after my dinner break and I'm listening to The Fan, 92.3 in Cleveland. And who comes on the air but Nick Carboni from WCNC. They are interviewing him to talk about the Panthers-Browns game. And Nick gave some great insight. But the Panthers fans are really excited for this game because not last season was great, but the end of the year, Bryce Young played incredible. Last 3 or 4 games, he looked amazing. They've got new talent. Everybody's healthy. Derek Brown's back. And so there's Panther fans that are excited. On the other side, you have Browns fans who have 6 quarterbacks, but because of injuries, Shadur Sanders is going to start against the Panthers. He's probably going to play 3 quarters. So just the hubbub of him playing, though he's probably not going to start the season. He's probably 3rd or 4th on their depth chart. He's just going to play. But it's a big game tonight, and it's got a lot of fans. I think the secondary market for tickets for preseason game, $50 for the worst ticket in the house, which is crazy for preseason. But the weather's great as well. That's the other part of this. I mean, the Browns are taking on the Panthers in August in Charlotte, and it's not hot and humid, and we're not dealing with thunderstorms. So just a really great atmosphere in Uptown. So we'll be talking a little bit about that this evening as well. Temperatures across the rest of the area, it's beautiful out there. I mean, upper 70s. We showed you the breaks in the clouds. There was some rain earlier today, and actually some legit light rain. It wasn't just drizzle, but that little band of showers has actually broken up, and things are drying out. We do have one lone shower, it looks like, right there near Gastonia, so we'll kind of pinpoint. And that's what we've seen today, these little showers. This is on the southeast side of Gastonia. You can see it moving pretty quickly. That's the radar beam, by the way, sweeping by and showing it moving through the southern part of Gaston County. So they're moving out fairly quickly, and they won't last long. You might need a light jacket tonight just because it is a little coolish for August, and if we get a light shower, it's going to make it even cooler. 60s overnight. Tomorrow, those temperatures, again, for the first time since the 1st. I mean, we were 81 one point during this cool snap, but 84, 85 would be the warmest since the 1st when it was 93 degrees. And we can look back. Here's a look at the past 7 days, and this is going to be an all-timer for early August. Kids, people will tell their kids about this first week of August. You remember back in 2025 when it was cold? Yeah, this is going to be one of those kind of weeks because it was a 77 today, 75 yesterday, 74 Wednesday, 69 on Tuesday, 81 there on Monday. That's the last time we were in the 80s. 76 on Sunday and 74 on Saturday. You gotta go back to last Friday, which was a whole week ago when it was actually hot, 93 with some sunshine. That is the second coolest first week of August in our city's history. We've also had the 4th wettest first week. So it's been wet and cold for the first week. So big changes on the way coming into the weekend because things are going to dry out a little bit, and we're actually going to see the sunshine make a little bit of a return. Now, the interesting thing about the weekend is I don't think it'll be 100% dry because Saturday looks really good right now. We're looking at some sunshine, east-northeast winds. maybe a little bit of haze, which we'll talk with Tim about. We've got some wildfire smoke coming in from Canada. But late Sunday, this southerly flow starts to usher in some scattered showers and storms by evening. It won't wash out your Sunday, so don't worry about, all your outdoor plans. Just think if you have dinner plans outside Sunday, you're probably going to have a few showers. And then Monday, Tuesday, we get into a soupier pattern. This will be a big topic with Tim and I coming up here shortly. Wildfire smoke. We've got a little bit out there, some haze. Even the airport at one point today reported hazy skies. And this is all from the Canadian wildfires, which will show you how many are going up there coming up here in about 5 minutes. But look at the rain chances this weekend. 20% Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, some elevated rain chances, and that's because of some southerly flow. The 5-day rainfall forecast, right now you see this big bullseye over South Carolina and the low country of South Carolina up into the eastern part of North Carolina. It's a lot of rain. That's up to 5 inches of rain possible. And for us, you'll see that kind of depicted in our forecast, because we're actually going to have quite a bit of rain to our south on Sunday. Then Monday, Tuesday, you start to see the rain creeping closer to us. So we're likely going to have some pretty good downpours Monday into Tuesday for areas south and east of Charlotte. And you see why. The southerly flow, this is kind of a typical summer pattern where we start to see southerly winds develop and push in moisture from the Atlantic. So this is what you would normally see in August. Bermuda high, kind of centered over Bermuda off the East Coast, starts pushing in moisture. And then that starts to set the stage for afternoon, evening storms. Now, if we had tropical systems out there to worry about, this is the kind of steering flow you don't want to see, because this is exactly the type that brings systems into our area. But right now, all the tropical entities out there, and I'll quickly show you, they are actually lower chances of development today than they were yesterday. We're down to 40% and 10%, and both of them are moving away. So the chances are going down, and the movement is going away from the United States and really the Carolinas. So really no threats for us to see anything. Quick look at the long range. We are going to see above average temperatures as we go into next week, so back near 90. Your weekend forecast, hey, for once it's not cloudy the entire weekend and raining. The last 3 weekends are about as weird as 3 weekends you're going to have. 2 weekends ago, 100 degrees both days. Last weekend, 70s and rain. This weekend, 80s and maybe some clouds. I think Saturday, the better of the 2 days. Notice on Sunday night, 5, 7 o'clock, we start to see rain chances ramping back up around 40%. So if you want to get something done this weekend, do it Saturday and do it early Sunday before the rain moves in. Here's your 7-day forecast. Temperatures return to reality. We're right back into the low and mid 80s this weekend. Next week, we're back near 90 degrees. We are going to see those temperatures stay pretty close to where they should be. The one thing about 90 now, that's our normal high, but by next week, the normal high is down to 89, and in 10 days, the normal high is down to 88. So we're starting to trend down, and by the end of the month, the normal high is 87. So if you have questions about the forecast or any weather-related, science-related questions, remember, you can always text us those questions, 704-329-3600. We would love to answer your questions live here on Weather Impact. We get some great questions, and we'd love to answer them. But Tim Buckley from WFMY, our sister station up in Greensboro, he's done with his local forecast. He joins me now. And Tim, I'm super jealous. You guys had sunshine today.
Has it been cloudy there all day? I was looking at the satellite, just trying to parse out if there were any breaks in your clouds or
we
not.
Just recently had some breaks, but in Charlotte, the Charlotte metro, there's been very little. It's been some of our, up towards Salisbury and Statesville and then Monroe. It's been all around us, but over us.
It's a little unusual, I would say, when it comes to a wedge and it comes to a cold air damming situation. Typically, the erosion of clouds goes the other way.
Yeah,
and
south to north.
Charlotte get the sunshine first.
For sure.
And then it moves up 85. So, we might be kind of sitting up like this today and saying, it's a switch of the fortunes, I guess.
Yeah,
but
you guys definitely
did get some sun this afternoon.
I don't know how that happened, but that is weird. This whole pattern's been crazy, Tim. I kind of joked in my local forecast that I think this is going to be one of those weeks that people will tell their kids about. Do you remember that week in 2025 when it was so cool? Because it really is like one of the all-timers for cool, wet weather in the summer.
Mm-hmm. And it's always funny to kind of think of weather moments that are very memorable but not necessarily severe or
Yes.
storms or anything like that. This would be one of those that, hey, it was just cool that one time in August for about 4 days. Do you remember that one? No
Yeah.
one died. We're in good shape. Everything's fine. But it was just kind of strange with the cool weather for us.
Yeah, it's just bizarre. And I'll bring up our overcast graph. I pulled this from Iowa State, and you probably have looked at this as well, Tim. But this is our ASOS data from the Charlotte Douglas International Airport. And so kind of parse what you're looking at here. The top of the screen is up around 15,000 feet. The bottom is the ground. And anywhere you see blue is clear skies. Look at all that gray above our heads since the 1st. We had some sun on the 1st. That was the last time we saw it. And even though it's been cloudy, it's been really low clouds. You see the cloud, the deck, the ceiling we call it, which is the lowest cloud base, has been down close to like a couple hundred feet every day. So it's not just that it's been cloudy, it's the clouds have been literally on the ground. So we haven't even had the brightness that you would have with just high clouds or medium cloud deck. And I don't know, I have to look at records. There's very few overcast records that are hard to find, but that's a long stretch of not seeing the sun. If this was November, December, January, February, March, even April, I would be like, okay. But in the middle of summer, I just don't ever remember seeing overcast skies lasting this long for us.
That's really hard to do. I mean, this is one of the more sun-filled times of year.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have daily thunderstorms that kind of pop up and cloud up your sky, but you can usually set your watch by it that in the morning in July and August, it's probably going to be sunny outside, and then the clouds are all diurnal. Or meaning they happen throughout the day. They pop up with the heating of the day. So just very unusual, not just that it's been cloudy, but the way, like you said, that kind of gray overcast, it doesn't fit our climate pattern. It's very Pacific Northwest. All of those comparisons are pretty appropriate. Just kind of the flavor of the day is very coastal Washington or Oregon or something.
Yeah, so I'm curious, for us, Tim, our stats, this is the second coolest first week of August on record and our fourth wettest. Do you happen to know where you guys ended up for the first week?
Yeah, so I pulled this up yesterday, and we can do this on the fly pretty quickly thanks to our buddies at the Southeast Regional Climate Center. We love to shout them out because they do great work. We have the coldest now, so this is number one for us. August 1st through August 7th, 9.2 degrees below average for the mean temperature. So that's not the highs, not the lows, but we have the top coolest high temperature as well. The high temperature has been 12.8 degrees below average.
That's
so
incredible.
Just astounding.
Yeah, that's hard to do in the summer.
Shattering records.
Yeah, because in the summer we don't
really
have a lot
is.
of variability. Typically, I always tell people summer's our least extreme season because typically, a really hot day is like 5 or 6 degrees above normal, and a really cool day is like 5. To see double digit below or above that's why 100 degrees is a big deal for us as well, because that would be double digit above, and it's the equivalent of being like what we just had, 70-degree highs. So we've had these polar opposites literally in the last couple of weeks. Tim, something else I know you've noticed a lot about, and you've been talking a lot, you've had it more than us, is the wildfire smoke and air quality issues. I know you guys started to notice this a little bit earlier. I think it was yesterday, possibly. Today, I think the first time I saw Charlotte Douglas report haze at the airport. Talk a little bit about your air quality and what you guys have been seeing up there from the wildfire smoke in Canada.
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a good point. And, we were very keen on the sky today, just kind of watching the clouds clear up a little bit. And then once they did, it was kind of strange because you didn't get that crystal clear blue. You got more of a haze. And I'll pop up our air quality. So this is part of that clearing process today, that there was a bit of a moderate level of air quality across the Carolinas. So this is live right now. Usually a yellow range or a moderate range, that's not going to impact too many people, but we are seeing that. Here's a live look at Winston-Salem.
Oh, wow.
Again, they have fairly few clouds currently, but you can notice, you see right there, just those bluer shades, and the bugs love our cameras. I don't know why. So just
they love
ignore
ours
them.
too.
But that's that. That's that limited visibility that is very wildfire smoke evident.
Yeah.
And we'll get off that in case anybody's squeamish. But this should start to lessen a little bit through tomorrow and disperse a little bit, but we'll have sun around, and so it might be a little hazier than you might expect. And if you're questioning, well, where is this all coming from, it is from those fires that have been a big problem up in Canada, and our airflow over the last couple of days has kind of gone through the Northeast, and so that kind of stands to reason that's kind of where we've been. We see that air bringing itself down from Canada. Well, it's going to be able to bring some of that smoke down our way as well. So not terrible. It's not bringing back memories of the last couple of summers, at least not for me. But it is something that we haven't seen that much of recently, and just kind of going back to it, I guess.
Yeah, and Tim, to your point, I think a lot of people don't realize how many fires are actually burning in Canada right now. And Jeb's going to punch up the graphic of the fires. These are all the source point fires for Canada. And just look at the number of fires in central Canada, northwest Canada, and up into Alaska. And most of that is burning in very rural, desolate, deep forest areas. And one of the interesting things about Canadian wildfires, we talked about this early, I think it was in June, one of our first shows, we brought a wildfire expert on, was a lot of the fires in Canada, unlike the United States, these are burning in uninhabited areas, and there's physically no way to fight them or no need to fight them because they're just so big. And so these fires will burn all summer until the first snow comes in some cases. So if the wind directions are right, Tim, this smoke could be an issue well into the fall and early winter before things start to stabilize up there. It's a different animal than down here in the United States, because like 80% of the Canadian population lives within 100 miles of the Canadian border. So when you go north or deep into Canada, there's nothing up there. And because these fires aren't threatening structures, there's no feasibility and reason to fight the fires.
I do wonder, Brad, and maybe the expert mentioned this on the interview. I think a lot of people have the sense of, I don't remember this happening that much, 5, 10, 20 years ago. Has it been a thing that's always happened and we just didn't notice it quite so often? Or has it been a little bit worse in the recent years with whatever the climate trends have been?
I think it's a little both. I think we have more ways to measure it and people notice it more. But he did mention that they have had a weird climate pattern where they've had these really wet winters and springs where the growth has been intense, and then the rapid dry out in the summer and fall. And so that's the thing about wildfires. You need stuff to burn, so at some point you have to grow it, right? So there has to be a time period where you're getting underbrush and trees to grow. The other problem is these are boreal forests, which means a lot of them have that, kind of like eastern North Carolina, which I know you're familiar with, when you get those peat fires that burn underground, and they can burn like forever in those swampy areas of eastern North Carolina, that organic material. That happens in Canada as well. These fires can burn underground through the winter and then come back the following spring because they'll come back up once the snowpack is gone. So it's a weird ecosystem that really prompts this, but the warming climate has definitely played a big role in that. So Tim, that's something we'll be watching. And for folks that'll be looking for the clear skies, it's just not the sun we're looking for this weekend, Tim. We've got a full moon, and everybody loves a good full moon. It's the August full moon coming up. It's actually tonight into tomorrow. And I always think it's weird. I don't know if this happens to you, Tim, but I mentioned there's a full moon, and people will go, I think it's tomorrow. And I'm like, yeah, you realize midnight is tomorrow. So it's tonight into tomorrow that you can see it. So it sometimes confuses people because people look at their calendar. They don't look at the clock.
Yeah. I think it's technically full at about like 3:54 tomorrow morning. Overnight tonight though is the time, and we can pop it up. I'm sorry it's cloudy in Charlotte, but maybe you get some breaks in the clouds where you can see this. I will say if you're able to watch this tonight, snag a picture or try your best with it. It's hard to get one sometimes, but I'm anxious to see what the coloration is. We just spent a while talking about the full moon, the wildfire smoke. There could be a different hue to it than normal. There might be some yellows. We always have them on the low horizon, but there might be some yellows that linger a little while longer, maybe some oranges. It's unusual to have those combined factors, and so let's take a look at that if you have the clear sky.
Yes, and for those who love the names, this is the Sturgeon moon, which is the full moon of August when the sturgeon are beginning to spawn. There's a lot of fish that spawn late in the season here in the North America, so that's where it gets its name. So yeah, send us pictures. We'd love to see them tonight. I'm hoping at least see it briefly tonight. So sometimes we get questions. I want to go to our super intern Lily Aldridge over there. Lily, have we gotten any questions today?
No. Nobody wants to
questions.
talk to us.
Oh, that's a bummer. Well, since we don't have any questions, we're going to put Lily on the spot today because for those that don't know, Lily is our summer intern, and today is her last day, and she has been a big part of this show. So for the last part of the show, Lily, we're going to grill you, okay? Tim and I are going to ask you some questions and get to know you a little bit because you may be taking one of our jobs soon, so we want to make sure that everybody gets exposed to you. For those that don't know, Lily is right there. She's been on our show a lot. She's popped in the morning. She's been great here at WCNC. She's been here all summer. She is going to be a senior at the University of Georgia. She's a Bulldog. We won't hold that against her. We had a lot of Bulldogs in this station, by the way. But Lily, tell everybody what your major is and what your summer has been like here at WCNC.
I am a atmospheric science and journalism major going into my senior year, as Brad said. It has been amazing. I don't want to leave. I'm not ready to go. Don't send me back to thermodynamics, please. But yeah, it's been great. I kind of do a lot of the behind the scenes stuff here. I help plan the shows out during the days that everybody here gets to see. So that's been great.
Yeah, and so Tim, I'll let you ask the next question, but just so people, she has been awesome for us, Tim. She's been great. She's been helping us kind of produce the show and like get the lineup and help Jeb and James because oftentimes Tim and I are doing shows on linear between 4, 5, and 6, depending on which station, and so she's been a huge help. So it's going to be tough for us to kind of get the show together some of these days without her there. So Tim, you got any questions or career advice to give to Lily?
Oh, career advice. Gosh, I don't know. I feel like Lily's already set. I've seen some of her social videos. I'm a little more curious, what got you interested in weather in the first place? Because it seems like with any people that get into weather, there's always like a spark or a moment or a storm or something. Was there anything like that for you or just more of a general interest?
So most of the people in my class, they're always like, I started liking the weather when I was 4. I did not do that. I want to be able to keep people safe. That was like my biggest thing. And what is a better way to keep people safe than going into things like the weather, like helping forecast hurricanes, tornadoes, all those like dangerous things that like, send people into panic mode.
Yeah.
So that was my like initial thought. I always knew I wanted to go into like some kind of communications role, but it led me to the weather, and I love the weather.
It's a great point. And a lot of people think about meteorology and they think, well, it's partly cloudy today. What should I wear? The main thing that we do is just letting people know when bad stuff is coming their way that they need to take action for. So that's the right reason to get into it.
Yeah, the high impact stuff. I mean, that's really where we kind of make our money. I mean, I always joke that apps can kind of forecast 80 and sunny days. It's when we get storms like Helene or high impact events where meteorologists really make their money and also do the best good, the most good. I'm not an English major, so you could tell there. So, Lily, let me ask you this: like, where do you see yourself working? Like, is there a part of the country that you are more likely going to work? Is it because of the weather or where you want to live?
Most of my family is on the East Coast. I love tropical weather, so. Hopefully on the East Coast.
Yeah.
that would be my general range. But honestly, if anybody's watching and wants to give me a job, I graduate in May. But yeah, I'm willing to go anywhere at this point. Life's going to take me somewhere fun, so that's where I want to go.
So I got another question for you.
Well,
this is
we're hiring right now.
Yeah, Tim is ready to hire you right now. He's like, don't go back to school. I need you. This is a question I ask my students too, and I think it's very interesting. And I'm obviously older than most people in this room right here. That's not a big shock. But Tim and I have been doing this for a while. But I always think it's interesting asking younger meteorologists up and coming, like, where do you see like this profession going? Are we all going to be digital meteorologists? Do you think weather influencers are who we're going to be? I mean, because it is changing quite a bit. And how do you think you and your generation are going to consume local news and weather going forward?
I think everything is going digital.
Yeah.
what we do here in the streaming studio, I think, is the next wave of what news is going to be. People my age, we don't turn on the TV. We consume media through social media, like Instagram, TikTok, all those different things. So I think that's like kind of, well, I don't condone getting your news from TikTok, by the way. But I do think that is like the next wave of stuff that we're going to. But I'm very happy to be a part of WCNC and having this opportunity to do streaming here, especially. So
Yeah.
I think that's the wave.
All right, Tim, here's your interview questions. What would it take to hire Lily? Can you wait till May?
Wow. What does it take? Can you wait till May? I don't know.
Tim's never getting a weekend off.
Looking for people who have. Well, we would like to have the weekends off. We're always looking with people with energy and enthusiasm. And I see the energy and enthusiasm with you. I think that's always a good sign that you have that spark to kind of be a self-starter and all those things. That's a big thing in a first job. A lot of people have to kind of, trod through a small market and kind of make their hay and do a lot of things. I used to joke I would change the oil on the news cars at the first place I worked. That wasn't totally true, but it almost was. But you're going to be in great shape. I think so. Wherever you end up, you're going to do great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So what is something I always like to tell people when I bring them back to my class? We do this sometimes with people that have been in the business. I have them come in my class, and so I'll use, since Jeb can chime in on this as well. What is the one thing, Tim, that you wish you knew in your first job that you know now?
Ooh. I wish that I knew how you're always kind of working. I don't know that I knew that at that point, but I'll tell you, we're coming up on hurricane season. If there's a storm coming our way, Brad and I are working on Saturday and Sunday, whether we're on TV or not. If it's the winter time and there's a snowstorm that might be coming, oh boy, you're working quite a bit. I went to the Orange Bowl to watch Penn State this past January lose to Notre Dame, and I flew back at 7 the next morning because we had a snowstorm here the next day.
Man.
So those things happen.
That is true, actually, and it's funny when people ask me like, "What is your schedule?" I'm like, depends on the weather. I'm like, when am I normally at work? It's like, yeah, it feels like you are always working. That's a good one. Jeb, what about you? I mean, you've moved around a little bit. What do you wish you knew then that you know now?
Yeah, I think just understanding that this is a different job than all your friends have. It's a public service. It's your hours are dictated by the news, by the weather. So understanding that, your hours might be 9 to 5 in air quotes, but you're going to have to work whenever the news dictates it. So that was a learning curve when my friends would invite me out and be like, ooh, I'm staying late because there's a snowstorm or there's big weather. So that was a big learning curve year one.
My family still doesn't get that. They're like, Dad, why are you going to work? It's like it is weird. Like your friends, and I think you probably dealt with this already, Lily. Is like your friends are like, oh, what do you mean you're gonna have to go to work, or what do you have to do? It's gonna be weird.
They thought it was crazy. I work 11 to 7.
All right. Well, congratulations, Lily. We're gonna miss you. The show will not be the same, but you made it better. So hopefully going forward, your imprint is on this show. So thanks again, everybody. Vanessa Rufus will be next, coming up here on WCNC Plus.